Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Hopefully the weather is good where you are. I know currently here it is pouring, raining. Here in the South we say it's raining cats and dogs. I don't know who came up with that expression, but we always say it's raining cats and dogs. So hopefully the weather is good wherever you are. But today we're going to recap the NASCAR race at Kansas yesterday that was called the Bushy McBush 400 at Kansas Motor Speedway, and I won't get into the details of why it was called the Bushy McBush race. You can always get on Google and look it up if you so choose, because I know that is a corny, catchy name, but there was a reason for the name. But before we get into it, I just wanted to say that I need some help. I have decided that I want to have a tournament for hide and seek. I used to love playing hide and seek as a child, and I want to have a tournament to determine hide and seek champions. But I need some help because good players are hard to find. And yes, that was your dad joke of the day. Thank you. Thank you very much. I knew you would enjoy that one. That one takes a second to catch on to, but when you catch it, it is pretty funny because good players are hard to find in hide and seek. And also, if you have not yet watched my review of the All-Star Wrestling show this past Saturday night at Gray Bell Auction, please go back and watch it and leave some comments. Wanted to say thank you one more time to Rhino and Johnny Swinger for coming out and being with us at the Gray Bell Auction on Saturday night. But on to the NASCAR race we had yesterday at Kansas. We now have 10 winners in 11 races as Kyle Busch won yesterday, got his first win of the season, and like I just said, he now makes the 10th winner in 11 races. So we have 15 more races to go until we finish the regular season, and we only have 6 more winners to get to before we'll have 16 winners through 26 races. And I'm still curious as to what they'll do if they have more than 16 winners in 26 races. All I know is Denny Hamlin better hurry up and win, because as of yet, he's one of the big-time drivers that has not won yet this year. He is currently the points leader, but of course, as of right now, they're still going by overall points, not wins. Once they change it and start going by wins, then Denny Hamlin will no longer be the points leader. And if he don't win, he may end up missing the playoffs, even though he has been so dominant in the early portion of the season, because he has yet to pick up a win. But Kyle Busch won yesterday. Him and Kyle Larson had the two best cars on the racetrack all day long. I do think that last caution is what helped Kyle Busch get the win, but of course it was race 34 last year before he got his one and only win of the season. So he's on a way better pace than what he was last year at this time. Hopefully this year he'll get more than one win in the win column. It was his 58th career win, which ties Kevin Harvick for 9th on the all-time wins list. But of course, next in line for wins is Dale Earnhardt, who had 76. I do think Kyle Busch will catch Dale Earnhardt's 76 wins, because yesterday was Kyle Busch's 36th birthday. And if I had to make a prediction, I'll say that he races at least 10 more years. So I think he'll catch Dale Earnhardt, but I don't think Kevin Harvick will, because Kyle Busch is about 10 years younger than Kevin Harvick. So Kevin Harvick's racing days are coming to an end, but I do think Kyle Busch will catch Dale Earnhardt. I think before it's all said and done, my prediction is Kyle Busch will be third on the all-time wins list behind Richard Petty, who has the record, which nobody will ever come close to. And of course, second is David Pearson with 105. And I do think Kyle Busch will wind up winning more races than Jeff Gordon and being third on the all-time wins list. I also believe before it's all said and done, he's either going to tie Jeff Gordon or pass Jeff Gordon and be second all-time in championships, because we know Dale Earnhardt and Jimmy Johnson and Richard Petty all won 7 championships, and then Jeff Gordon won 4. Nobody's ever won 5 or 6. You just had the 3 guys that won 7, and then you have Jeff Gordon with 4, and he's the only one that won 4. Now, there's several guys that won 3, but the only guy that won 4 was Jeff Gordon, and Kyle Busch has 2. And like I said, I think he's got at least 10 more years left in the tank, and I think he'll win at least 2 more championships. So I think he'll either tie Jeff Gordon for second all time or pass Jeff Gordon and be all alone in second place on the all-time championship list. And I think he'll pass Jeff Gordon and be behind Richard Petty and David Pearson for third all-time on the wins list. But that's just my prediction because he's still so young and he's been doing this for so long, and he's still in his prime and he's still doing it. It took him a little while this year to get going because he has a brand new crew chief after Adam Stevens quit on him last year, but I do think him and B. Shore are finally getting it together. But Kyle Busch won. Second place was Kevin Harvick, and then 3 through 5 was Brad Keselowski, Matt DiBenedetto, and Chase Elliott, and 6 through 10 was Martin Truex Jr., Tyler Reddick, Chris Buescher, William Byron, and Austin Dillon. And then a few notable guys that did not finish in the top 10. You had Denny Hamlin with 12th, Joey Logano was 17th, and Kyle Larson, who had a good car all day long, ended up finishing 19th. And the top 10 right now in the running order for the championship, since they're still going by points, is Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., William Byron, Joey Logano, and Ryan Blaney. And 6 through 10 is Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Larson, and Kyle Busch rounds out the top 10. If you're a NASCAR fan or know someone who is, please feel free to tell them to go back and watch the video and leave me your thoughts on not only yesterday's race but the season so far. I continue to think that it's been a phenomenal season only because the only multiple winner we've had so far is Martin Truex Jr., who has 2 wins, but outside of him, we've had a different winner every single week, and there's still a lot of big-time drivers that have not won a race yet. I know I mentioned Denny Hamlin a while ago, but Kevin Harvick still hasn't won, and Kurt Busch still hasn't won. So there's a lot of big-time drivers that still haven't won, not to mention a lot of guys like Ryan Newman. Ryan Newman usually, for the most part, wins about a race a year. He hasn't been close to winning so far this year, and I always like it when I see different guys finishing up towards the front of the field. To me, it makes not only for a better race but for a better season because it makes it less predictable, which in my opinion is what not just NASCAR but all sports in general are about. They're not fun when they become predictable, and if you follow sports, you know that, because in any sport, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, racing, any major sport, when one person or one team, depending on the sport, starts dominating, people complain about it, being boring because it's becoming predictable. Well, NASCAR this season is far from predictable. The only thing that made anybody mad yesterday was a loose tire that rolled and ended up rolling into the infield grass and stopping. But NASCAR has a history of when that happens, they throw a yellow flag immediately, because if somebody loses control on the track and hits that tire, you're going to have a mess and a pile up and possibly a catastrophe. So 99% of the time when there's a loose wheel, even if it rolls down to the grass and stops, NASCAR throws a flag. Yesterday they waited probably 20 or 21 laps before they finally threw the yellow flag. Now, I don't think it changed the outcome of the race because there were more cautions after that, but I'm waiting for NASCAR to come out and say what their reason was or why they waited so long. Now, whatever they say, it's not going to please anybody. The fans aren't going to like it because there's no reason to throw a flag immediately every other time that happens, and then yesterday all of a sudden you wait 20 laps. If you can wait 20 laps at Kansas, you can wait 20 laps anywhere you go. If you throw the flag anywhere else you go immediately, you should throw the flag at Kansas immediately. But I am waiting to hear what NASCAR says is the reason why they waited an extra 20 laps to throw the yellow. Like I said, I don't think it mattered because there were more cautions after that. But I do think it hurt Chris Buescher and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. They were 2 guys that ended up getting damage between that tire rolling in the next caution, so it may have changed their race outcome, but I don't think it changed the winner outcome. I'm just curious as to what NASCAR is going to say the reason was on why they waited an extra 20 laps when they never, ever, ever do that. And if you're a NASCAR fan, if you know of a time where that's happened and NASCAR waited this long, please feel free to let me know, because off the top of my head, I don't know of any. Every other time I've seen that happen, a yellow flag comes out immediately, unless it's the final lap of the race. But yesterday, it was not. So I'm just curious if anybody knows of any situations where that's happened and they've waited to throw the yellow flag, because I don't know of any. And I'm just curious as to what NASCAR's excuse is going to be as to why they did wait an extra 20 laps to throw that flag. But this week, we're back on the track again. At the track, they say it's too tough to tame. One of the oldest tracks in NASCAR, Darlington, will be there Sunday afternoon starting at 3:30. Will we get our 11th winner in 12 races, or will we have another repeat winner? Stay tuned this Sunday if you're a NASCAR fan. Go ahead and leave me your comments, your thoughts, your predictions on what you think will happen this Sunday at Darlington. And until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.